I'm just going to wait here for people to join before I get started. Just noticed I have a bit of a sore spot on my cheek. Okay. Oh. Right. So this is going to get posted anyway as its own video. So hello everyone and welcome to Undertale no-hit tips and tricks. This is going to be how I approach Undertale no-hit within where it's various bosses or full game runs. It's up to you. But hopefully these tips and tricks will help all of you understand and overcome some of the more difficult challenges that this game has to offer. Now, I will be covering every single boss so that you can do it in you can do it in either true pacifist, you can do it in neutral if you want to, or you can do it in genocide. All those are entirely up to you. I won't cover enemies individually because there's so many of them. Well, at least not all of them anyway. I will cover some of the more difficult ones. I will not be going over side ones like So Sorry or Glide, because those ones don't matter. You have to go out of your way to do them. And the latter, you have to wait until a very special day in order to do so. So anyway, let's get started. So let's start with Toriel. Now, Toriel is the first boss of the ruins, if you didn't already know that. So as for loadout, if you're doing true pacifist, it really doesn't matter what you use at this point. So this one I just used a stick. You can get the toy knife early if you want to. But what I do in a full game run is I ignore the toy knife entirely because I have to go out my way to get it and I'm just not going to use it for anything. So I get the toy, no, don't get the toy knife. I head to Toriel with the stick and the bandage. So that's all I need. So anyway, so Toriel is a little bit of a complicated boss. The reason why I say this is because while most bosses in this game have a set attack pattern for every single wave, Toriel does not. She attacks with different attacks at random. So the only major tip I can give for this boss really is just to react. But I'm going to show you all the attacks and show you how to no-hit them. So when you get this one, you'll want to try and stay as low as possible. If you can hide in the corner. And if I get that again, I'm going to show you it. If you get this one, you just want to stay where you are. You might want to move up a little bit just in case, because sometimes it can come back and annoy you. So yeah, that's all Toriel basically, just reacting to which attack gets next. This one, of course, you want to stay in the corner. If both of them come at the same time, so yeah, if you're quick enough and you have a good open spot, you can hide up here, but if not, then you have to stay down low. If you go too low, you'll get hit by the fire. So I'm just going to demonstrate that real quick. So you want to stay close to the edges and just move your way back and forth. That's the only real way you're going to get through it. No one pattern will get you through it every single time. And if you try and go up to the corner too early, runs over. So this one you want to stay in the corner and wait till the fire starts aiming at you. And I'm gonna see. So yeah, you wanna move up to the right a little bit when you get this attack. If you're very unlucky, you'll get the mini attack, which is that one, but very, very, very small, and there's nothing you can do there, unfortunately. So if you get that attack, you're done. If you get this attack, it's much easier to go up to the corner, but again, you'll want to stay low if you can't get all the way up to the top. I will point out that going up to the top is real risky. Also, if you get this one, you just stay in the middle, go to the left, then wait till the fire starts. It's about to aim at you, not just after it aims at you, otherwise you're going to get hit. So going upwards can be very risky, but on this one, there is a little bit more room between you and the fire. So you can just hold up left as soon as you get the attack, and then you can make it all the way up. This works pretty much every time, unless you get really unlucky. So there is some luck involved in all the elements of this. You want to stay here and then move to the right as soon as the hands disappear. And that's all you have to do. That's really all there is to Toriel. So that's... yeah, that's all you need to know, basically. If you're fighting, then you just keep going until she runs out of HP. No dialogue. If you do Mercy, you have to keep going until the attack starts to spray outward, which won't hit you no matter where you are. So, yeah, that's it for Toriel. On to Papyrus. Of course, it doesn't matter which option you pick first. But let's say, for example, you're doing True Pacifist. When this attack starts, stay still. I mean, you can try and dodge it while avoiding all the blue bones, but it's really tricky to do. Hold up so that you can jump over the blue bone as soon as you land. So, yeah, you're blue now. Papyrus is a very long boss. So there's a lot of attacks. The last few attacks are very random. So I'll try and showcase them when... all the attacks at the end that are random are just repeats of old attacks. So if you can learn these, then you should be good. So what you just saw me do there was just hold up to jump over the bones. Nothing too fancy. So you just keep on doing it for the entire wave. If you want to play it safer, you can maneuver around them by moving to the left a bit when you jump up and then going right when you jump over it. That's a much safer method if you don't like playing dangerous. So this one, you want to hop over 2 bones at once and then take a huge jump at the end. Yeah, I know the no board's off. I know the no board's off. Thank you, Sansi. Almost hates the post for popularity. A thing that really helps is to align attacks with dialogue. So almost taste my future popularity. You know it's going to be this one. Hopping over 3 bones, then waiting for the blue one, and then jumping over a ninja bone. So I recommend that for basically any boss you play, any fan game or anything. Because that's going to help you in the long run. Quite a lot. Head of the Royal Guard. So this one is a mini jump attack. If you jump too high there, you will hit the you'll hit the top bone. But overall, what Papyrus is really just muscle memory. So this one, just carefully jump through the mini jumps, jump over this one, and then don't forget that about that bit there. You have to stay in the center in order to go through them. Undyne will be really proud of me. So this one is a little weird. So you want to go all the way to the end here before jumping over, and you want to do this for all of these mounds here. If you try and jump over them without moving, then you're gonna run into them. So this one's very simple. You want to jump just a little bit late, but not late enough to the point where you will get hit. You won't change very much. So this one is just the same, but a little bit faster. So you want to take very mini hops. You can do it while jumping as high as possible, but it's quite precise to do that, so I don't recommend using that method. So this one's progressive. What I do is I focus on the bottom bone. And it's the same here, except this one's going down. So I just jump up to where the blue bone ends, and then press right to jump over it. And then this one, you're just going to have to be a little bit finicky about them because they move. Someone like you is really rare. This one is strange. I don't know how to put it into words. So jumping through the first one is okay, but jumping through that second one, you have to jump and then move through it while going down. So dating might be kind of hard. So this one you can just do very small jumps like this. You can move to the left if you want to play it a little bit safer. That will be important later on, okay? So to pay very close attention to that after you're captured and sent away. So this one is really tight. It's literally just 2 jumps. First one moves slowly, and the second one moves fast. So it's as soon as the first one comes in that you want to make your way over. If you jump too early, you're going to hit the last bone. If you jump too late, you're going to hit the first bone. So learn your timing, because if you can't, runs over. Now, at this point... Oh, wait, no, it's this one. So what I do for this one is I wait until the bones get really close together. So they like a clapping thing. I always think like clapping. So when they clap each other, and the top bone starts to move, that's when you make your jump. That's a timing-based challenge. Now, at this point, the previous attacks will repeat. Unfortunately, I got hit here because I wasn't paying attention. I'm too busy talking. So, learning all the previous attacks will really help here. I think some of them have a little bit of an elevated speed. But to me, it's a very, very slight increase in speed. Some of them are faster, some of them are not. It doesn't mean that any of them are slower. This one is definitely faster. So learning how to do a faster pace on those attacks will really help you. TBH, a lot of the bosses are just memorized. That is true to an extent. Right. This one, do a large hop over these 2, do another large hop over these 2, then go back to the middle and jump through that. Jump through this, wait for this, and then jump this, and then jump again. Jump over that as soon as possible. Jump over this as soon as it gets to the right. Hop over the dog. Take giant leaps over the words. And the bone on the skateboard. And then hold up. Do not let go of up. And then the very slow bone at the end, probably the hardest attack in the entire thing, just go over to the right, just like this. And there you go. That's all there is to know about Papyrus. The Mad Dummy. Probably one of the easier fights in the entire game. Mad Dummy will eventually run out of special hit points. I say special hit points because this boss relies on you to hit it before you can progress the fight. So I'm going to show you the most straightforward route to doing this without using any advanced strategies. So just move right, move left, move right again, then move up to the middle, and then move out the way as soon as the first one's about to hit you. That will give you the most cotton hits for that attack. If you go too low, then the attacks will be more spread out. So a general tip for this fight is to stay as furthest away from the robots as possible without staying too close to the edges, because the dummies can come out from the edges and hit you at point blank. So keep that in mind. So move right, move down to the left, move up, and then do this. Now, if you move to the right after the first one, you can get all of them in, but that's a little bit dangerous. So this one, just move up, and then move down again. and then just dodge the cotton balls. I think for your first no-hit on Mad Dummy, do not focus on playing optimally. Just focus on dodging the cotton balls. So, just get in the middle of the pack. And just do that. Now, when it starts going in a certain direction, you'll want to stay close to that direction. The fight will not progress very far unless you hit him a couple of times. So I get why you want to play optimally, but for me, I think that's a little bit too risky for a beginner. So you may have to face like 10 attacks, but unfortunately, that's just how a beginner does it. So for this one, just go through the holes. They should be simple enough. Then when you hit the Mad Dummy enough times, then this happens. Just stay in the middle. Nothing will hit you here unless you stay very close to the edges, in which case you're stupid. Now, the last few attacks do not matter if you don't hit him. Hitting him or not will not do anything. So for this one, just move around in a circle. Basically divert the robots away. So move up as soon as they come in. If you go up too early, then you'll have no chance of escape. This one, go left a little. And then go around in circles again. Take a really wide line. Otherwise, you're going to get hit by the circles. Now, the final attack is randomized. So, do your best to go through the gaps and dodge the circles at the same time. There is a trick for this, but that's ultimately RNG reliant as well. So, unfortunately, I don't really have any useful advice for you here apart from just react. Now move out of the way of the knife and stay in the middle so you don't get hit by any of the teardrops. And there you go. That's all there's to know about Mad Dummy. Undyne. Very, very tricky boss. Because a lot of people struggle with... I think I actually can make that face. A lot of people struggle with the green soul. Yeah, the teardrops can damage you, soul. Anyway, that feels a bit weird to say. So, it doesn't matter ultimately what you do, as long as you flee when you turn red. Now, you can challenge to make it a bit harder for you, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. Instead, just go over to Mercy, and yeah, so this one, just don't do anything, just let the arrows hit the shield. And for this one, learn the controls. The arrows move very slowly, so you should be able to do this on your first go. For this one, it's a little bit faster, but it's the same pattern every time. So this is another one of those memory bosses, but there are some random elements that will come later. If I must be honest, there isn't really much advice I can give for Undyne, apart from learn the patterns, as well as get used to the controls. I get it that 4 different arrows coming from 4 different directions can be disorienting at first, but you'll get used to it eventually. A note, if you move too late on the shield, then the arrow will just go straight through the shield. It's just Toby's method of anti-spam. And after you flee from Undyne, you want to do the second part. So this one's simple enough. It's just up, down, up, down. This one will trick you. So don't go left at first, go up, then right, then down twice, and then hit the left one. So this one's a bit fast-paced. Just go left, right, and then down, up, down, up. I think this one is randomized. So react there, unfortunately. Then flee again. And then for the third segment, This is the hardest part of the Undyne fight because of the golden spears. The golden spears, you'll want to stay in the direction of which it is heading towards you. So if it's coming from the right, then you want to aim left. If it's coming from up above, you want to aim down. It's very confusing, I know. But unfortunately, that's what you have to learn in order to no-hit this fight. Luckily, though, the first few patterns are memory-based, so you can get used to it that way. But what's going to come up now, after this attack, it's a randomized attack. Oh, wait, no, this one's not randomized. The next one is. Yeah, this one's randomized, so you're going to have to react to that, unfortunately. This one's also randomized, and it's really fast, but luckily there are no golden arrows here. This one's a set pattern. Stay to the left a bit before going right. And then just go in a counterclockwise pattern right here. I promise you it's not that hard. And then run away again. Now, if you want to do neutral, you're going to have to go a different way. So I would pick up the ballet shoes and the cloudy glasses for this one. For this one, I'm going to go level 8. So Undyne has a lot of HP, so it's going to take you a while for you to kill her. I think now's a good time as any to mention target practice. The closer to the middle you aim, the more damage you deal. I'm pretty sure most people will know that already, but for those who have never played the game and just want to get into it, then this is a very good beginner tip for you. So, yeah, aim very close to the middle. Try and aim inside the black line. It's frame perfect if you get a crit or not, basically meaning you deal the most damage. If you land all crits in a row, you'll deal a lot of extra damage. This applies to not only the ballet shoes, but also the torn notebook, the burnt pan, the empty gun. And yeah, that's it. So for the red soul attacks, for this one, just move around in a circle. This one's not too difficult. There will be a harder version of this later on, so please keep that in mind. Now for this one, you just move out of the way of the spears. It's that simple. Now there is some spots you can stay, but that's pixel perfect, and I wouldn't recommend going for that. So now we're back to green soul. This will be the same process before as killing, or pacifying rather, but it will be a little bit faster. You need Omega Flowey tips. Those will come later, Soul. Those will come later. So the attacks will get progressively harder as you progress through the fight, so it's best if you master the slower variants before going on to the harder ones. Now this is where it reaches its fastest. It won't go any faster than this. That's about the same speed every time, and I coughed it up. So now Undyne will start losing defense, which will help a bit if you're trying to get big numbers on her. But yeah, the worst is yet to come. So now you've depleted her HP, but she's not dead yet. She still has a couple of attacks left to unleash upon you. So you'll be green soul for this no matter what you do. So you can keep attacking her if you wish to, but ultimately at this point in the fight, it really doesn't matter what you do. You can attack her, you can act, you can use items, you can try sparing her. Nothing you do at this point matters. It will end the same way in the same amount of turns. This one is fast reaction. Now, the attacks will get slower as the fight gets towards the end, but ultimately it's going to be randomized, except for the very last attack. She'll only deal, like, very small damage to you here, so don't worry if you get hit if you're doing a no-item playthrough. But if you're doing no-hit, then I really wish that you could change up your reaction time. So now there's one more attack after this. So when she's in this pose and says, I won't give up, then just don't do anything. Let the arrows hit you just like that. And then no matter what you do at this point, she'll die. So there you go. That's all there is to know about Undyne, Neutral, and Pacifist. Now, for Undyne the Undying, what I recommend you do is getting the ballet shoes as well as the clouded glasses again. Ultimately, the level you do doesn't really matter here. If you can get level 11, that's great. Bonus points if you can get level 12. But I'm going to go worst case scenario and go level 9. I'm at least level 10 every time I get to here. So this is all I'm going to be using. If regular Undyne can refuse to die until she melts, can she also do that? No, I don't know. It's complicated. In Neutral and Pacifist, Undyne's not in the right to be using her Undying form. So she tries to go to that form, but she can't. So she melts instead. If you're on a genocide run, you'll encounter this. Undyne the Undying. All the attacks are memory, so I highly recommend watching a video first, or continue watching this, if you want to learn all the patterns. But note, some of them are very, very fast, so they'll take you a couple of times in order to get used to it. Now this one's slow. Of course, a lot of people struggle with this one. I just tend to think about what arrow will turn red next. But ultimately that's just up to distance. I don't really have any advice for you there apart from just react. This one moves slowly around the arena. Try and go in a circle if you can, but sometimes RNG just won't let you. And for this one, just do the same thing as you did before, except you're going to have to be a little bit quicker. Now here's the hardest part. This is the infamous 4141. You're going to have to be very quick with your hits here. If you do it too late, like I said, then the arrow will go straight through the shield and hit you. And if you've ever played a genocide run before, you know that Undyne the Undying packs a punch. A very hard one. Now for this one, it's not as hard as it seems. Just hold X and go to the left. When you get to the edge, move in a zigzag pattern on your way up. I'll demonstrate that again, just for those who didn't quite catch up with that. So after this one goes in, just move in a zigzag pattern like this. It's really not that hard. This one's just opposites, so whichever one you hit, the golden arrow will go in the opposite way. Now I'm going to stall the fight a little bit just to show you some attacks that you might run into if you're bad at attack aim, or if you want to complete this fight for yourself. So now we're going to go back to red, and this one's a little bit stranger. What I recommend you do is start moving in a circle pattern. I would only concentrate on the sphere that's most likely to hit you. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what you do. And this one, this one coming up is like the one I did with Hold X, but it's a little bit harder. So I just do this, move right a little bit, and then down if I have to, move around in circles. If you get better at attack aim, you won't have to worry about that attack. That's all there is to know about Undyne the Undying. Now, Muffet. If you're going optimal strats, you will need the spider donut from the ruins. It's only 7G. That's very simple to get. And if you eat the spider donut in the Muffet fight, then you can skip it entirely. But if you don't want to skip it and you want to go for clout, then this guide is for you. So, Muffet has a very unique soul type to the rest of them. She uses Purple Soul. This is the one and only time in the game that it's ever actually used. So for these first few attacks, just concentrate on staying in the middle. Don't try and move left or right. Only focus on going up and down. So just do up and down taps twice to go through those walls. And again. This is another one of those memory bosses, and it also gives you a bit of a clue as to what attack comes next. So you can look at the sign and see which attack is upcoming. When you see the cake, or rather the muffin, then you'll want to work your way towards the left. This way you'll give yourself a lot of time to dodge the spiders on these attacks. And then when you have the Giga Muffin come in and try and eat you, you can predict where the spiders are going to go by looking up top, but since the bullet board seems to wave about, it can be a bit misleading. So this one, I think that one was a set pattern. And this one's randomized. So it's ultimately just reaction. You can just move up and down. You can pretty much move up and down for pretty much all the attacks, but there are some ones where you can't do that. Now this is the attack that introduces Minecraft leather caps. So a very simple attack. So move to the left again. And this one's going to be slightly faster and a little bit more chaotic, because the spiders are now spawning on every second row instead of every third row. Now this one's fast-paced and random, so reaction time is necessary here. Go to the middle for the last bit. This one's very simple. Stay up twice, go down twice, and then stay in the middle twice. Very, very simple attack. The boomerangs, just react to them. Luckily, they don't pose too much of a problem. None of them will overlap with each other unless you stay on the edge. So that's all good. This one, just do circle motions. Move to the right and do circle motions around them. And for this one, go up to the top left, then go down, then back to the middle again. That's a very confusing pattern, I know, but that's the only way I've actually known how to do it. So stay on the left here again. This one's a little bit tight. It will get faster as you go along, but don't worry. As long as you follow this step, you'll be absolutely fine. Now for the fastest one of them all. Again, once every row. Sometimes it'll be 2 rows in a row. So don't fret. Take your time. And there you go. That's all there is to know about Muffet. Alternatively, you can get the spider donut to skip her, but if you just want to do it just like that, then now you have your option too. Mettaton EX. Mettaton EX is not a complicated boss by any means, but definitely challenging. So, of course, you want to start by using your gun on Mettaton. It doesn't really do anything. Then this one here is random, but the rest of them are predeterminable. So go to the left, destroy one box, move through it. Go to the right, destroy one box, move through it, and shoot at the yellow target in the center. And hit that. Destroy the bomb. Move out of the way so it doesn't hit you. And then use turn to make Mettaton flip Mettaton switch. Now, if you're playing optimally, you will need the armor sets you can pick up along the way. But if you just want to finish this fight off quickly, then use Boast. This will give you points over time as long as you don't take damage. So this is another one of those memory bosses. So go to the right here, destroy the mini-tons, and then hold X while moving up. I think now's a good time as any to say that if you learn all these bosses, then you can pretty much do anything in this game. If you really want to challenge yourself, try no hitting all bosses in Undertale while holding X. I guarantee you, it is possible. And, you know, I'm even going to go as far as to say it's a lot easier than it sounds. So when you get to the pop quiz, type hot finenti cute. This will give you the most points. You can alternatively do legs, but that gives you 10 less. For the heart, do not worry. Shooting at it is optional, but you'll get more points if you don't shoot it at all. You will have to wait a little bit longer for the attack to end this way, but it will die down on its own. Just constantly move up and down for the mini-tons, and just like that, then you're done. Yeah, it is indeed possible to no-hit Sans while holding X. This one is just reaction. Stay up near the top so you can change the color instantly. And this one as well. Move up whenever you can. Don't move up too late or too early. Just look at which side you need to hit. So this one's regulated break, so this is a free attack. Now this one's a little bit more difficult, so you want to keep shooting at the blocks so they have a lesser chance of hitting you. Ideally you want to end this attack as quickly as possible, because the blocks can hit you and they do a lot of damage. Now, if you're unlucky enough to not have 12,000 ratings at this point, then you'll have to face these attacks. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of advice for these apart from just react. So this one's memory game, so you have to remember which way you went and which things you destroyed. And again, but this time it's a lot faster. This one's randomized, unfortunately, so you're going to have to do whatever you can in order to do it. Sometimes you'll get really unlucky and a lot of bombs will be in your way. If that's the case, runs over. This one's also randomized, whichever side it pops up. Now this one's easy if you don't shoot. So just stay around here. You can go down the bottom if you have to, but just remember to go around the middle here so that even if you're right here, the legs won't hit you. And there we go. That's all there is to know about Mettaton EX. For the quiz show, just get the right answers. Look to Alfie's if you need help. If she doesn't give you an answer, then you can answer whatever one you want. Now, Asgore. The weapon I recommend is the burnt pan. You can use the empty gun for more damage, but it's going to be harder to time your shots because the targets move at really high speeds with the empty gun. So I recommend getting the burnt pan, and if you can afford it, the cowboy hat. If not, stick with the cloudy glasses. So there's no way to pacify Asgore. You have to fight him. But luckily, all of his attacks in order are pretty much all the same. So what you just saw there, I just go to the left. It's the same with Toriel, basically, but this one's a little bit more challenging. Worn Dagger does a lot less damage. So this one, stay low. This case I didn't, and I took the damage. Let me replay just to prove that point. If you stay low for that one, then there's a better chance of you no hitting the attack. If you stay too high, then chances are you're going to get hit. So this one has a little bit of reaction time in it as well. There will be another one later as well. So this one, stay in the middle. Move left and right if you have to avoid the fire. But don't go too far left or right, otherwise you'll be hit by the flame walls. This one, just memorize the colors. Move for orange, stay still for blue. This one's a little bit more difficult. But as long as you know where to go, stay away from the edges and as far away from the hands as possible. Same thing with Mad Dummy. It's just with flames now in the hand. I think the hand can hit you as well, so stay clear of that. This one, stay down here and move back and forth. If you're having trouble, I suggest holding X for the colors attack, because if you hit the wall and orange is right on top of you, then you're not going to be able to no-hit it. You can't move up or down for orange, but you can move up and down through blue. It's really weird. The color detection in this is really strange. So now all the attacks are going to repeat. They're just going to be a little bit faster. Now, there are some things you can do to higher your damage. If you use the pie and then talk with Asgore, assuming you're on a fresh save, you'll be able to do a lot more damage to him. But unfortunately, the damage gained from it is not that much. We're talking about 10 to 20 damage. So for this one, just do the same thing as said before. Go to the bottom left and move back and forth. There's no safe spot you can take, unfortunately, which is why I'm not showing you one, because there isn't one. So for this one, you need to stay clear of the middle just a tad. So just be aware of the fire zones. Now these ones spin. Some of them spin fast, some of them spin slow, so keep an eye out. That is really fast. I'm purposefully dealing less damage here to show you the rest of the attacks. This is just about as fast as the attacks will get. If you stall the fight, then Asgore will just lower his defense. Nothing else will happen. So this one you can just stay down here and move right. And that's the hardest attack. And there you go. That's all there is to know about Asgore. Now, the GOAT himself, Omega Flowey. Now, I'm going to do a couple of runs on different phases just to show you what they are like. But first things first, Flowey is a nightmare of a boss to no-hit. I remember spending ages trying to no-hit him at least once. It took me so long. But what helps with no-hitting Flowey is understanding the attack combination of every phase, as well as preparing for the worst. So when you fight Photoshop Flowey, you'll want to stay towards the middle of the arena. Now, for the vines, you just move in a straight line. If the vines are long enough and you get unlucky, then you will get laser. For Shurikens 1, just tap lightly. For Shurikens 2, it's sadly just react. There's no set pattern involved. For pellets, try and work your way out of that. What I tend to do the most for pellets is just move around in a large circle, because that really helps. It helps knowing which direction the pellets will go. So I'm going to play it again. Gon already made a Deltarune no-hit guide, so probably no. So I'm going to play phase 1 again. So Shurikens 1, just move in a straight line around here. Shurikens 2, react. Move in a straight line if possible. For pellets, move around or go wide, whatever works out for you. But the most consistent strat is moving in a circle around through pellets. For flamethrowers, you can either stay down low or stay in here. The flamethrowers themselves don't deal any damage, but the flames do. For the soul phases, these are actually quite simple. Navigate your way through the spinning knives to get to the act button, and after a while, when they stop rotating, they won't deal any damage. But don't touch them anyway, just in case you do get damaged. For phase 2, the attack pattern changes. So now you'll get Flowey nukes, and you'll get fly traps. You'll also get vines as well, which will also help bad with laser. Now, these horrible looking things. I don't really have any advice for those, unfortunately. What I do is focus on where they're going and where I think they're going to end up. Because that's all you can really do. They do move in diagonals. They never move in straight lines. So, that's something to help you out with. I'll do this phase again because I was talking over this bit. Sorry, wrong one. So you want to stay in the middle, like I said. But because you have fly traps in here, for nukes you just go up. You can dodge it while staying down, but it's really, really risky and RNG heavy, so I don't recommend that method. For the fly traps. Now, the important thing to know about fly traps is that they pop out immediately around this area here. So you'll want to stay quite clear of this bit here. So if you get very close to where the edge... So let me do this again. So lining up the soul with Flowey's lower right eye, then the best area for you to... The best thing for you to do if you have to move in straight lines, whether that's due to Shurikens 1, vines, or anything else, handguns is just react. All of the attacks in this are randomized. except for Shuriken's 1 and Vines. So if you have to move in a straight line, I recommend staying along a curve like this. So if I move up here, then if a fly trap were to spawn, it wouldn't spawn on me. That is especially important if you're doing pellets and you don't know where to go. It always helps to stay clear of Flowey's hands right here. So stay along this path, because if you don't, you'll get wrecked. For this one, go inside the circles. Some people try to go around the outside of the circles, but I find that to be just a little bit more dangerous than doing it this way. Hit the act button and then go in the middle of this circle. They will stop. Now, phase 3 and 5 is all about moving in straight lines and not panicking. So if you're already going in one direction, keep going in that one direction. So tap lightly, stop, and then tap lightly again. For Vines, just hold the same direction for the entirety of the attack. If you get hit, the attack will not repeat. That is likely to throw you off. The ballet shoes, really just reacting and staying in between them is all I can really say about this one. You can't go above the stars, unfortunately. I will show that right now. You cannot go above the stars, which is a real damn shame. Now, phase 4 is where all the attacks get used in the exact same phase. So you have flamethrowers, you have nukes, you have vines, you have everything. And it's very problematic if you encounter laser here as well. So see, I'm moving up here. So I'll show you that you can stay here for flamethrowers and you won't take any damage. At the end of the day with Flowey, the only thing you can really do is just react to whatever attack comes next. But I will show you later in like Flowey Survival how you can train for some of the worst combinations. So I'll tell you them right now when I'm going through this. So you can hold up right here and you'll never get hit. But you'll have to come back down for the at button, and don't try going back up there after that's finished, because you will get hit. So just like that. So some of the worst Flowey combinations you can run into are... Sorry, this is another soul phase I need to be very, very specific about. Staying down here is the best option for you. The flames will go in random directions, so there's no safe spot you can take, sadly. Nor is there any exploit for you to get above the pans and avoid them altogether, which you can actually do here without taking damage. Phase 6 is the same as Phase 4. So, notice how I'm moving left or right as soon as the nukes attack or the handguns attack is about to end. That's because the vines are the fastest attack in this fight, and they can hit you at any point, any time. So, knowing when each attack is going to end and what is the worst attack for you to dodge is the best tool tip I can give for this fight. So for this one, it's just trajectories and reaction. Luckily, it's not that fast, but if you're not that good at reaction time, then I suggest staying in the middle, because that's where the most straight lines are. Speedrunners usually stay to the diagonal positions in the corners, because that's the fastest way for the gun to fire. I would do Flowey Finale, but first I'm going to show you Survival. Now, this is a special mode I've implemented into Undertale Godhome for you to try and survive as long as possible. So you see down below you have a no-hit counter, but don't worry about that. Just focus on dodging all the attacks. So this is how Finale normally starts, very slow attacks. And after about 40 seconds, when the music clip is about to end and the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da starts to play, then that's when the attacks get really fast. So I'll show you the full finale process later, but for now I just want to show you how to dodge some combinations in this fight. I'll try and explain them as I go, but if I miss anything, that's likely because I'm talking too slowly or I'm concentrating too hard. So on this bit, the transition happens. So stay down here. Let's move up here for the vines. So see, if I wasn't moving there, the vines would have definitely hit me. So ideally for the pellets, you want to return to the middle, because that will give you the most room for any attack following up. Handguns, just move left and right as well. Dentators, you'll just have to predict them. I think that's how you say it, dentators. It's a very weird name, I know. So go up here for the nukes. Now, if Flowey's lower eyes flash, that means that Shuriken's 2 is about to happen, and if the upper eyes flash, that means that Shuriken's 1 is about to happen. For Fly Trap, you want to stay on the opposite side of where the Fly Trap actually is. If you have double Fly Trap, then you'll want to keep stay somewhere in the middle. Now, by far, with these strats, the worst attack that can hit you at any time is Shuriken's 2. This is Shuriken's 1, this is Shuriken's 2. So just make sure you're moving at all times. Never stall for anything. Just don't assume that the next attack is going to be the easiest one, because very likely it's not going to be. Now, what you just saw me do there was me trying to dodge something called NS2, which is nukes plus Shuriken's 2. When you know the attack is about to end and you see a safe spot, you can move down into it to avoid the Shurikens. If not, then you're going to have to take a really bad line to get down without being hit by the Shurikens. Now, nukes and Shurikens 2 is probably one of the hardest combinations to deal with in this fight, so if you do get it, then I'm afraid then there's no way for you to get out of getting hit there. I'm sorry, but that's just reality. So I'll keep playing this fight just a little bit more just to show you what I do. Really, the only advice I can give is learn the attacks, figure out which is your worst combination, and plan ahead. A lot of focus is needed to no-hit this fight, so if you can't get that focus in, then you have no chance of no-hitting this fight. So you see me do it again. It's not always possible, but it's ideal to get back to your ideal spot as quickly as possible. Which, as I said, is right in the middle underneath Flowey's mouth. So, there you go. That's all there is to know about Photoshop Flowey. I'll do a finale run, just so you can see all of this in action. The only difference between this and Survival is that you have to worry about fighting him. In which case, just only focus on dodging, and only get back to the fight button if you know you can make it without getting hit. If you feel like you can't make it without getting hit, wait a little bit longer. The damage ramps up the longer you fight him, so don't worry about losing time. Thank you so much for the sub. So this bit here, this is the hardest part. If you get Shurikens 2, sometimes you'll have to stay still, sometimes you have to move around them. You'll have to do this really weird maneuver in order to dodge the Shurikens 2 transition. So yeah, there I took too long. I tried to fight and I ended up getting hit. So focus only on not getting hit and don't focus about hitting flowey. I know you want to end the fight as fast as possible, but that's the very bad way to do it. That time I went too close to the pellets. And there we go. That's all there is to know about Photoshop Flowey. Be right back. Right. Now for the last two bosses, Sans and Asriel. I'll start with Sans. Now, Sans, while he may be the hardest boss in Genocide, he's entirely memory. So, attaching the dialogue to the attacks, just like with Papyrus, will really help here. So I'm going to provide you some tips and tricks that I use for Sans, as well as some examples of what not to do for certain attacks. Let me start again. Oh, what the... It's been a while since I last fought this boss. Wakaba! So jump as soon as you land, do the diagonals, and then move up, down, up, down, up, down. Right, so for the first attack after this, you must know that fighting Sans, you'll have to fight him in order to progress the fight. Doing anything else doesn't do anything. So for the mini jumps, press up faster than you. To do these mini jumps, you need to hold up for a shorter period of time than you normally would. You won't need to do it as fast as you can, just faster. Now, this one, you can just jump over the white bones, but the problem is that the blue bones are straight after that. So, instead of just jumping over the blue, instead of just jumping over the white ones, we're gonna... Oh, fuck, I messed up. You know, let me do this again. So for this one, the mini jumps, only focus on the bottom bone. Do not worry about the top one. That's only going to cause you much stress. It is quite a tight jump, but learning that will really help you here. So wait till the blue bone passes, then make a diagonal jump, and then do the same thing the other way as well. This one's random height jumps. Just react. Now this is the platforming section, so stay on this platform, jump on this one, then jump on that one as early as possible, then jump over that as well. So this one is a little bit tricky for me to explain, but I'm going to try my best. So jump on this platform, jump over and land on this one, jump on that, slide, and then jump very lightly, jump lightly again, then jump over that bone when it comes. This one is really just random bones. Similar to Undyne and Muffet, just move around in a circle. This one, just jump through the bones. You can do it while just going sideways through that. The jump at the end will help you, because then you don't have to jump through the first one all over again. Now this one's just blasters, so stay on the bottom and only move up when you absolutely have to. This one's the harder version of the jump at the end attack. Jump right there. There you go. Then you have mini jumps again. This time it's a little bit faster. But ultimately the difficulty of this attack doesn't change. It's just your precision you need to work on for that. Right, this one, jump really high over the first 4, then work your way to the right, and then jump really high again. That's the simplest way to do it. You can go around in circles, but that's dangerous, so I wouldn't recommend that method. So, not for to care anymore. This one's faster paced. Random height jumps. Now, at this point, this is the interval between phase 1 and 2. You can heal here if you want to. Now, the mini attacks are going to be where most of your learning has to go. So this one just jump really high, this one just jump really high, this one just jump really low, jump really high, jump really low again. Now, for the bone in the menu, that will hit you. So when it's about to go, just spam Z and enter as fast as you can. And for these blaster attacks, move around in a circle or move in straight lines, whichever works for you. It's all trajectory based. And then mini attacks again, move down and up, jump as high as possible, move around like that, go up here. So it's really just reaction for the mini attacks. I recommend learning them individually or by watching a video before you do that. Now, this is the easiest attack in the whole fight, and I'll show you why. You can hold down all 4 arrow keys and you'll never get hit. Ever. This is literally all the attack is. When the attack ends, move right onto the act button, and then when the bone disappears off the fight button, move back to the fight button. So I'm going to show that again. When you know the attack is about to end, you'll know it because the bullet box will enlarge. And that'll also help you avoid the menu bone as well at the top. This one's a harder variant of the Gaster Blaster attack. So move around in a circle. Always fighting really tiring me out. Just move around in circles like this. It's that simple to do. Now mini attacks again. This one will be a little bit faster paced, and there'll be one more mini attack than there would normally be. Usually there's 5, and this one there's 6. So special attack, hold all 4 arrow keys again. Now I'm going to show you a special trick for final attack. So this is the final attack right here. So hold all 4 arrow keys. Move around in a circle. Then hold right as soon as you get flung into the wall. If you've done it right, you can do this bit without moving. You'll have to move up and down though for that bit. And jump up, jump down to the right, jump up to the left, jump down to the right, and then just do this whole entire spiral. If you're on the other side, you'll get hit as soon as you are flung into the wall, just after this attack ends. Now, the damage here is unavoidable, so unfortunately there's nothing you can do about it. So, yeah, you've done the no-hit now. Don't worry about this bit. It's force damage. It doesn't count. I mean, you can do the end of the fight like normal. And now for the final boss, Asriel. No, you don't hold the joystick. If you're doing it on a controller, or if you can't hold all 4 arrow keys, then unfortunately, I don't really have any good advice for it. What I probably can say, though, is that if you have a D-pad and a joystick on your controller, you can hold left and right simultaneously, and that also works. So, yeah, that's all I can say about that, really. For Asriel, nothing I say here will be really helpful to you. But what I can show is what I do, and hopefully that will help you. So for the stars attack, you'll know because his hands will have stars coming out of them. Stay down here. That will give you the most room to dodge every star. And then at the end, you just react to whichever pattern's thrown your way. For the lightning one, this is the same every single time. For the sword swing, Asriel will never attack the same side more than twice. What I do is I look at his feet to know where he's going to go next. That end bit, sometimes he can get wrecked. It's really just reaction. Lightning again, this one's the same as before. It also helps to look at the dialogue to know which attack will come up next, but I prefer to do this blindly. So yeah, we have stars again. It's not going to get any harder this time. It will do later though, so pay close attention. Ready, it's Chaos Buster, that means he's going to have the gun. So what you want to do here is you want to go to the right, and as soon as he starts shooting, just tap right continuously until you reach the very end. You'll never get hit here. Then when the laser happens, then move back to the left. You can do it the other way around as well, but I prefer to do it from left to right instead of right to left. Chaos Buster again. So go to the left and then start tapping right as soon as you reach the left. It helps to hold X as well. Now this is where the harder attacks come in. So lightning is a little bit more frantic. Yeah, learn that pattern. For the stars, they now rotate among where they actually originated from. So this one's really just reaction times 10. Sadly, I don't really have any advice for that attack. This one's a little bit more faster paced, and there are 6 slashes instead of 5. This end bit's not any harder than it was. Chaos Blaster is just Chaos Buster again, but this time, thanks to this strategy, you don't have to worry about which lines aim at you. And then when you get to the end, yeah, just try and replicate that. Shocker Breaker 2 is the same Lightning 2 as before. Just move left as soon as the last one's about to hit. Now, Hypergona is random, but what helps best is if you stay really close to the middle and only move up and down or go diagonally. It helps if you stay a little bit away from the middle so you can tell which things are about to come through. Unfortunately, I got hit. It's not always possible to no-hit that attack, but if you get the CT, then you might have an easier time. Now, for Phase 2, it's best for me to demonstrate this in Phase 3. So if I go spare real quick. So this one, unfortunately, has no strategy. It's really just reaction and reading. The reading, I think, is the most essential part of it. You don't even need the Godhome mod to practice this. So what I find works best for me, it might not work for you, because this is randomized after all, but if you stay down to the left when the attack starts and slowly work your way upwards, this will give you the most room to dodge the comets. Again, it's not always possible to do it this way, but I think it really helps for me. Because if I give myself the most distance over here and then move up, then that will give me more distance away from the comets. It helps to know which projectile is coming out of what hand. And which direction it's heading. So reading is a very major key factor here. I won't be going over the Lost Souls because those are just recaps of different bosses. Alfie's is just a revisited Mettaton. So there you go. That's all there is to know about that. For Phase 4, sadly, there is no strat. It's really just reaction and just hoping for the best. If I play this on 50% speed, then you'll see why reaction and reading is the most important thing. So, this is not always possible to dodge because it's so erratic. But what I tend to do, and pretty much what everyone tends to do on this attack, is start down low and then work your way upwards. I don't know if this actually helps or if it's just something I just choose to do because someone else does it, but there really is no real tip for this. It's really just luck it out. So if you're doing a full no-hit Asriel and you made it to this point, I can't help you with this. Just pray. So I'm going to do it a couple more times just to show just how random this actually can be. If I get a no-hit, then great. And if I don't, I don't. So reading might play a good role here, but since there's so many of them, you're bound to lose track of them. So that's why I say there's no real strat to doing this. All you can do is really just hope. Now, I don't know if this helps or not, but if you get the CT, just like with Hypergona, you can do this attack a little bit easier, but unfortunately I don't see a change. It's really just a bloodbath. So, yeah, that's all I have to really say about Asriel. Sorry if it's no help, but I'm afraid no strategy guide will really help you with no-hitting this boss. So, yeah. That's all there is to know about Undertale bosses. That's just what I do, by the way, when it comes to these bosses. Maybe some of these tactics will work for you. Some of them may not. I apologize if I didn't explain them very well. I'm not really a very good teacher by any means. But hopefully this will give you some tips and tricks on how to do Undertale no-hit. So, there you go. That's all there is to know about Undertale no-hit. Ah, right. The enemies. In Genocide, it's best to avoid the enemies that you know give you much trouble. So, Frogget is one of the easy ones. Lukes and Vegetoid are very, very hard to no-hit on their own. Migosp himself doesn't do anything. Moldsmall, I think, has the exploding bullets. Napsterbluke. So just cheer him on a couple times and the fight will end. But you'll only have to do that one attack. For the dogs in Snowdin, just use the stick. So let me just show you what the K9 unit's for. So you only have to do one attack if you use the stick on these dogs. If you get this one, just stay up here. And try and move into the blue one, but without crashing into it, mind you. If you're quick enough, you can get into the corner and you're pretty much safe here. Yeah. In Waterfall, I don't really have any good advice for Waterfall. For Hotland, for the Royal Guards, do Royal Guard 2 clean armor, and just worry about the stars or carrots that are about to hit you. Try not to focus on the green armor too much. And here, I can't really help with this. It's really just pray. If you're doing the genocide run, then if you get the stars, you can hold right and you won't get hit. If you get carrots, run's likely to go over. For the core enemies, Final Frogget, I think is a one-shot. Astigmatism, if you're unlucky, you'll have to fight him normally, so... yeah, it's really just random bullet placement, and they're actually quite complicated. So, if you're doing genocide, do it in Hotland, if you can. So, that way you'll only run into, like, Vulcans and Tsundere planes. If you happen to encounter Tsundere plane, then one thing you can do is just stay in the middle most of the time. Only move out if you have to, sort of like Omega Flowey. If you get Tsundere plane with Vulcan, then I'm afraid your run might be over. With True Lab, should you wish to do True Lab as like an IL, memory head's just randomized. So the only attack you'll get is this one. So try and move out the way of the expanding faces if you can. That's all you can really do. For Reaper Bird, this is the time I can actually test out Luck's strat, because he had a very good strat for this. So you'll have to Mystify first of all. This attack is free. You won't ever get hit here. And then Pick On. Note you can do all three of these in any order, but this is the way I do it. So this one, weird attack pattern, just do that. And then Pray again. Right, so apparently you can just stay down in the bottom here and never get hit. Oh my god, it's actually true. It's actually true. Okay, thank you, Luck. Right, Endogeny, you can just use the stick to beat him, so it's not that big of an issue. Lemon Bread. Really, for Lemon Bread, all you can really do is just react to this teeth attack. This teeth attack can be annoying at times. For this one, just move back and forth to the right very, very slowly. Do not try and go outside, and do not try and no-hit the colors, because they don't work. And Snowdrake's mother, just joke 3 times and then you're done. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about Undertale no-hit. I've been planning this for a really long time, but I didn't know how to quite word it until I did my True Pacifist run earlier, which ended up being 7 hits. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Hope these tips have been helpful. I apologize if they're not. But this is probably these are probably the best tips I can give without having to look up information. And this is just my personal experience as well. So if they don't work for you, try figuring out something else on your own. But like I said, if you really want to give yourself a very big challenge, try no hitting all bosses while holding X. For Sans, you're going to need the CT in order to no-hit him while holding X. Again, I guarantee you, it is indeed possible to no-hit every boss in this game while only holding X. Not only holding X, but you get the idea. So there you go. Those are my tips and tricks on Undertale no-hit. I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.